Hello and welcome to Fox Valley Vegan, the channel where we eat vegan food, grow vegan food, and feel out of place in Wisconsin. So my name is Eric and today's video will be about gardening. Little precursor, I don't really know a whole lot about gardening. I started a garden last year. Some things went good, some things did not. So this year we're trying a few different things. We've got a different setup. I've been continuing to read the Vegetable Gardener's Bible, which is a great resource by Edward C. Smith, highly recommend. And come along, I'll show you what I'm working on. So last year we used these tofu containers for our seedlings, and nothing really worked with seedlings. We ended up ditching that entirely. It also failed for a couple of other reasons. So the first reason was we used the wrong type of soil. So we used potting soil instead of a seed starting soil, and the difference mostly is that a seed starting soil is more fine. It doesn't have any of those extra nutrients, because most of the nutrients you need are all in the seed itself to get it going. And then you just transfer it to the ground, and if you need more nutrients, then you give it that. Also, another thing we did wrong was overwater. So I watered in the morning and I watered at night a lot of times, and that was just way too much. I just kept it too wet. We're going to try to water a lot less. We're going to also give it more light. We added a window that has mediocre light, mid-level light. We're now growing tropical plants there, which are thriving. So you got to grow the right things under the right conditions. Another thing I'm doing here, so I've got my drill, and we're drilling some holes in these tofu containers that we've been saving up so that it has proper drainage. We drilled some last year. I'm adding some holes to the sides to the ones that I used last year, so hopefully it has good drainage and we won't have too much water in there to kill out those plants. Show you a little bit of the setup here. So one of the downsides to doing it this way, you've got all of these little plastic pieces that come out when you drill. People who know me know I do not like little pieces of plastic. I think it stems from a childhood hatred of glitter, but those microplastics can get into the ecosystem and into animals who eat them, and then work its way up the food chain, unless you don't eat animals, I guess. But it's not good because we don't really know exactly what it can do to the body. We've got different other things in our bodies, heavy metals and things that are bad, but we don't quite know exactly the ramifications of microplastics at this time. I'm definitely going to throw these in the trash. Hopefully they end up at the landfill and not in an animal's stomach, but we'll see. And Gil's barking, because that's what he does. So over here we've got our dirt that we've been using. I'm in our little washroom, and I've got some black gold natural organic seedling mix that I'm going to try out this year. I don't really know much about soil, but this is what we're using. There was only a couple options at Stein. This one was organic. Seemed like a good option, so I'm going to try this out. What I've got here, I've got a spoon and I've got a watering can over here, and I'm actually moistening the soil before I put the seeds in it. A little trick I learned online from watching a couple of videos. I've been watching some Epic Gardening and MI Gardening, just a couple of videos on seed starting, and got this tip there. What I've been going with is kind of the texture of that kinetic sand toy, where you can kind of shape it, but not really. Nothing too, you don't want it drenched, but you want it wet, So I've got a little setup here. I've got my holes drilled in my tofu containers, which are my 2-inch flats basically. I'm going to put some dirt in there. Just kind of level it out. Part of what I'm doing is not pushing it down too much. You really want some air in that soil. And then I've got my seed packets here. We're gonna do this orange hat. small little tomato plant, cherry tomato type. Does not get over 6 inches, I believe. So we're gonna try 4 seeds per flat. I don't know if this will be the best method, but this is what I'm gonna try this year. And looking at this, it says about an 1/8 inch deep. So basically 1/8 inch isn't too much. So basically I'm just gonna cover this a little bit. So what I did, I just put a little bit of soil on top, and instead of, making little holes and dropping the seed in, I'm putting the soil on top. Same thing, just a little less packing down on the soil. Also, what I have here is a garden marker, so this should be waterproof. Not sure how environmentally sound something like this is, but yeah, it'll help out. Last year we had, I wrote in pen, I believe, or marker, regular marker, and it washed off. I didn't really know where I planted anything. I mean, I knew because I made some drawings and such, but this will help us better. We've got a little popsicle sticks then, and we're just gonna write what it is that we're planting and the date. So I've got orange hat, 410, and I know that orange hat is a tomato, but if I didn't know that, I might put tomato on there if I get a little confused. So I've got everything here, and then I put the orange hat over here underneath our grow light system here that I've created. So just bought some shelving here and 4 grow lights. And then I've got some fans that I'm going to use here to blow across the plants. Basically, that will help stop dampening off, help the plants, the soil from being too wet. And another thing that it does is help the plant get stronger and get used to environmental pressures like wind and such. So one thing I did too was overplant. More than what I want. So this one is our jalapenos. We want a lot of jalapenos. We use jalapenos a lot in our cooking. So I've got 4 seeds in this tofu container, and I've got 4 in this one over here. But so that'll be 8 plants. I don't know if they'll all do well. I'm gonna pick the best ones. I'm gonna plant those. If others do well, maybe I could give those away as gifts or plant them somewhere else. It's good to overplant. I know some certain plants you can plant multiple seeds per spot and then trim to the best. These, I'm not doing that for these, but maybe that is the better way. I don't know. We're gonna try it this way this year and see what happens. Thank you for watching. Feel free to comment below. Tell me what I'm doing wrong, what you like, what you're doing this year. If you're starting a garden, I'd love to hear about it. Also, feel free to subscribe. You'll get to see some more content. We won't always be doing gardening on this channel, but stick with us. You'll see what ends up popping up here or doesn't. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. It's been done before. Again, thank you very much, and have a great rest of your day. And because we're in Wisconsin, I'm drinking a beer. And today's beer is vintage from Madison. So this is the Juicy Ninja, described as a spelt-based, ginger-laced, amber double wit beer. It's actually pretty good. I love ginger, so instantly I'm a little biased, but I enjoy it. Did I pronounce that right? Jinja, ninja, jinja, ninja. Yeah.